Good morning to all of you. In the today's class, we are going to study about the classification of surveying. So basically, surveying is an art of making measurement of an object which is above or beneath or on the ground to show their relative position on the paper. That means in the surveying, we are just measuring the horizontal distance of the object between the two mark object, whether it is above the ground, beneath the ground, or on the ground. Secondly, the relative position is required either horizontal or vertical or both, so that the exact length or the relative position can be easily identified. The next is it is a less precisely says that the surveying is used to measurement the objects or identifying their horizontal position. And meanwhile, if we are going to measure the vertical position, then it is known as leveling. Basically, the fundamental of surveying is just on the basis of to get the accurate result. First one, that is working from whole to part. That means if we are going to survey a large area, instead of surveying on a large area, breaking into the number of parts. The second one is the taking care extra of the new control point. That means if first we fix the control point, then the second control points are needed to be extra care with respect to the first control point. In a surveying a large area, a system of control points are identified and then they are located with a high precision. That means the position and the location of the new control point should be fixed accurately. Then the secondary control points are located using the lesser precision method. That means if the first control point is fixed and the coordinates of that point is known, then the other points can be easily identified and rectified for the further work. The detail of the localized area are measured and plotted with respect to the secondary control point. This is called as working from whole to part. This principle in surveying helps in localizing the error. That means if we are using working from whole to part, that means it eliminates the chance of error and minimum errors are occurred. If the surveying is carried out by adding the localized area, error accumulated by may become unacceptable when the large area is covered. That means if we are working on a small area, then the results and the surveying can be done accurately. But if we are working on a large area, then the minimum errors are needed to be ignored. Then let's come to the classification. Basically, surveying is classified into two categories. The first one is a primary and the second one is a secondary. The primary surveying is classified in plane and geodetic. Basically, the plane survey is considered if we are measuring or conducting a surveying work within the area of 225 km per square area. That means if the area which is going to survey having the less than value of 225, then it is considered as a plane surveying. And if the area exceeds this value, then it is considered as a geodetic, in which the curvature of the earth is considered. That means the area exceeds this value, it is considered not as a plane, it is considered as an arc. And if it is an arc, then it must having the curvature, it must having the radius or the center. Then let's come to the secondary surveying. The secondary classification is based on the nature of the field, object of the surveying, instrument used, and the method employed. That means first one, that is the nature of field. That means on which field or on the which type of ground we are going to conduct the surveying. Then the object of surveying, for the purpose for which we are going to conduct the surveying. The next is the instrument, what kind of instruments we are using to perform that particular task, and the method employed, by what kind of methods we are using. So in this class, we are going to study about the secondary classification, which is based on the instrument use. That means the what kind of instruments we are using to perform that particular task or performing our surveying work. Then the first instrument is a chain surveying, then compass, then plane table, then theodolite, tachometry, modern surveying instrument like electron distance meter and rotor station, and the photographic and aerial survey. So basically, we are just going to study about the chain survey, compass survey, plane table, theodolite, tachometric, rotor station, and photographic. This is the chain surveying, in which the basic instrument for measuring the distance is a chain. It is consists of a brass handle having the tallies made of brass. It is presently available in the length of 15 meter, 20 meter, and 30 meter on the basis of our uses. Basically, the chain is or tape is used for measuring the horizontal distance on the ground so that the exact or the accurate value of the measured distance can be obtained. In the chain surveying, the following instruments or equipments are used, just like chain, tape, arrow, pegs, ranging rod, plumb bob, and hand level. So the purpose of using these instruments, first one, that is chain or tape for the measuring distance. Arrows are marked at the starting, at the ending of the chain, so that the number of chains, if we are measuring the longer distance, then the number of chains can be counted easily by using the arrows. That means if the arrows are inserted at the starting of the chain, then at the ending of chain. If we have counted 5 times and if we forget the counting, then the arrows are used or can be help us to get the exact result. The pegs are used to put some information on that, so that the direction, the starting point or the ending point, or the location of fixed point, so that the information can be get easily. The ranging rods are used for the purpose of ranging, so that the distance measurement should be accurate and straight. The plumb bob is used to transfer or to mark the center position or the starting point of the chaining, and hand level is used so that we are measuring the horizontal if and in a level manner. Then comes to the compass survey. In the chain survey, we have measured the horizontal distance, but in the compass survey, we are going to measure the internal angles of some mark points. For example, if the 4 points are marked, just like first one, second one, third one, and the fourth one. If the 4 points are marked, and if I want to get the internal angles of these 4 points, so that for this we conduct the compass survey. That means the compass survey gives the value of internal angles of the enclosed 4 points. Then basically it is called as a compass survey, or it is a prismatic compass which is used to find out the angle because of the prism inserted in the compass for the calculation or for obtaining the readings. It is a whole circle. That means it is having the readings from 0 to 360, which is mounted on a metal needle, having the metal on which the readings are marked, and we get the value from 0 to 360, so that if somehow the point or the marked location is outer or inwards, then the exact value or the whole reading can be obtained by using this compass. And the prism is used because the readings are marked on the scale are inverted, and by the help of prism we get the real or the exact image clearly. So that's why it is named as a prismatic compass. So basically in the today's class, we have just discussed about the chain survey and the compass survey. Later we will discuss about more the theodolite and tachometric survey.